SCP-055, the object nobody remembers. It's called the anti-meme, and that name fits. Because the moment you see it, you forget. Researchers have stared at it for hours, then turned around and realized they couldn't describe a single detail. Not the shape, not the size, not even the color, nothing. They tried writing notes, but when they read them back, the words didn't make sense. It's like the memory was erased before the ink even dried. The Foundation has a chamber for it. Thick walls, heavy doors, but ask anyone why it's locked up, and they'll just stare. No one remembers who authorized containment, or when it was captured, or if it even was captured. Imagine this. You walk past the chamber every day. You swipe your keycard, you check the locks, but tomorrow, if someone asks what's inside, you'd shrug and say, I don't know. What if SCP-055 isn't an object? What if it's a predator? One we already released and forgot about. SCP-3001, the Red Reality. An accident ripped open a hole in space, and a man named Dr. Robert Scranton fell in. No ground, no sky, just an endless void, glowing a sick, dim red. At first, he tried to orient himself. He shouted. He waved his arms. But sound doesn't travel there. Nothing does. He drifted for hours, then days, then months. His body began to dissolve, molecules peeling away, like his own existence was rotting. He wrote in his journal, my hands are gone, my legs are gone, but somehow, I'm still here. Years passed, maybe decades. Time has no meaning in the Red Reality. And the scariest part? He never actually died. He just kept thinking, kept floating, alone, forever. What if he's still there right now? Half a man, half a thought. Not human, not gone, just drifting, waiting for company. SCP-3935. It hides beneath a small town in Mississippi, an underground chamber. At first glance, it looks harmless. Dust rocks silence. But step inside and something happens. Your thoughts stop being yours. Whispers coil through your brain. Words in a language you've never heard. And yet, you can't stop repeating them. One researcher walked in and began muttering nonsense. Hours later, his eyes went blank. He didn't remember his own name. Didn't even remember he was human. Others saw shadows forming in the corners. Figures that shouldn't exist. Watching. Waiting. And sometimes, if you listen closely, you'll hear it whisper back to you. Something ancient. Something buried. Something rewriting your soul, letter by letter. Step inside SCP-3935, and you might leave your body. But your mind? That stays behind. SCP-1123. It looks simple. Just a human skull. Old, worn. But don't touch it. Because the moment you do, history invades your brain. One agent brushed against it, and suddenly, he was in the trenches of World War I. He smelled the gunpowder. He felt mud pulling at his boots. He screamed as bullets whizzed overhead. He forgot his real life, forgot his wife, his children. He lived out the war in his head until the day he died. Another victim touched it. He saw executions in ancient China, the screams of prisoners, the clash of swords. He spoke only in Mandarin afterward, despite never learning it. This skull doesn't just show you the past. It traps you inside it, forcing you to relive horrors that aren't yours, until your mind breaks, or forgets who you were. SCP-1770, a painting. At first it's abstract, blotches of color. Nothing special, but stare too long, and it moves. Brushstrokes twist into shapes, shapes into faces, faces into things that should never exist. One researcher swore the figures inside were watching him, following his movements, smiling when he blinked. Another saw himself in the painting, a distorted reflection, hands pressed against the canvas, begging to be let out. And when he looked away, the whispers began, words he couldn't understand, but they didn't stop. Not at work, not at home, not even in his dreams. This isn't art, it's infection. And once you've seen it, it hangs inside your head forever. SCP-1981, the cursed tape, labeled Ronald Reagan cut up while talking. Every time you press play, the speech changes. At first, Reagan speaks normally. Then his words twist, violent, horrific, talking about slaughter, about torture, and then his body starts to split. Wounds appear across his face, across his chest, blood soaking his suit. Every replay shows new words, new injuries, new horrors. But here's the nightmare. The real Reagan develops scars in the same places, as if the tape wasn't just showing the future, it was writing it. The question is, what else has it rewritten? And if you watched it, would it start rewriting you? SCP-2316, the lake, still water, flat, quiet, until you see them. Figures standing in the distance, shoulder deep in the water, unmoving. At first they look like strangers, but then your brain tricks you. You recognize them. A friend, a parent, a loved one. They wave, they call your name, and you step closer. But there's a rule: you do not recognize those figures. Because if you do, your mind snaps. Agents have walked straight into the water, smiling, calm, and they never came back. The lake doesn't pull you under. It convinces you to drown yourself, to join the ones you think you know, forever. SCP-2521, tall, shadowy, always moving. But here's the nightmare. You can't describe it. Not in writing, not in speech, not in thought. Because the moment you try, it comes. And when it comes, it takes you. And no one ever sees you again. The Foundation can't keep written files. They can only use symbols, drawings, pictures, never words. Because words are bait. Words are a trap. Words are death. And now, here I am speaking about it. So if this video suddenly ends, you'll know why. 8 SCPs. Not monsters you can fight, not cages you can build. These SCPs don't break your bones. They break your mind. And once your mind is gone, you're gone. Even if your body keeps moving. So tell me, which one got under your skin? Which SCP would you least want to face? Drop your answer in the comments. Let's see who's brave and who's already lost their mind. And if you want more, hit subscribe. Because next time, we'll meet the SCPs that don't just twist your mind. They twist reality itself.